All right, guys. Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Astro News Network, episode 2 of the good year 2026. Always happy to have you here. Thanks for joining the stream today, or maybe sometimes later if you're catching it on YouTube, which I'm getting these episodes uploaded to YouTube now. Last week's is on there. You search Jordash 7K on YouTube, you'll find the old episodes. Anyway, well, hi there, Tiger King. I'm glad you're excited for the news. You think the tack was better? Okay, Black Widow, sure. If you don't know me or just plain forgot, I'm Jordash. Played Astro for a long time, but right now I'm just a rank and file player playing in the guild Oops in the B30s on Borealis. Since our last episode 2 weeks ago, with jump gates getting faster and at a much more usable, acceptable level, we've had plenty of guilds that have been actually flying around on ops, going after other guilds, getting out of cluster, doing things. Since we ended up with more server action to talk about today, we do just have the one guest today, but it's a good one. Is everyone getting hit by ads? I know the Twitch ramped up the ads process. I think I can get it down to one 1 minute every 20 minutes, but other than that, 3 in a row. What? 3 in a row. Well, what is the time on that 3 in a row? Because I think I get it down to 1 minute every 3, and that seems to be what it gets. Oh my god. Stupid automatic ads. Tell you what, I'll just fluff until people stop complaining, because I'm not thrilled about it either. Oh my god. So many ads. Whatever. Well, tell you what, you can catch up, and we can, in the 20 seconds of this introduction fluff that you miss, you can catch it up on YouTube. There you go. Oh, you got no ads. There you go. Thanks, Neck Plays. You know what's up. I don't know what secrets you did, but we'll make our way through the technical stumbles as we get through. Anyway, we're talking about the guest we have today, Vig, also known as Viggy, also known as Vigorator. He's the creator of the aebits.win website that we've been using for our battle calculator for years and years. I know I've used that battle calculator for, 15 years, put hours and hours into it, and I think we should give a little bit of credit where some credit is definitely due. Personally, I hadn't really poked around the AEBits website in a while, and there's been a lot of updates. They're on a version 3 of the website now, and there's just a lot of features and info that I didn't know had really even been added to the site over the years. So we're going to talk about it, touch on some of those free tools we have available to us, and maybe help you become a slightly more efficient Astro Empires player. I will say, we're not going to go through every page on the site and test everything. We're going to just show off how you can parse in a battle report to get in the text. We'll show some of those things, but we're not going to show every single thing, how every part works. That'll take too long. That doesn't sound very fun. But also, kind of as an aside, going forward, I am going to be trying to kind of push our guests, who are often old head, serious business guild GMs, to show off something that they believe that they do pretty well. I'm not trying to make this into a whole Astro News Network University program, but it's kind of Astro Empires has a lot of simple number efficiency mechanics, but for some of that, we'll say higher level gameplay, there can be more nuance than expected when it comes to true successful high end gameplay. A lot of strategies that can take you from a good player to a really good one, and that goes from just individual moves, and also when you're running a guild, doing guild wide ops, planning, scouting, how to just run it in better in general. But we've been playing for a long time. I think it's been long enough, and we can be a little more open with that high level plays and secrets and strategy, and we should start sharing a little bit more of that around. Because for example, I it's been about 3 years since I played. I haven't even played with new wormholes or the pumpkin map. I know what they are and what numbers are changed, what it technically does in game, but maybe get someone on to talk about what are the new opportunities from that, what are the new advantages from how the wormholes work and the pumpkin map, how does that affect out of cluster ops. I haven't dug into that. Someone can come on and we can have a conversation about it. Sounds like fun. And who knows, maybe it's not that fun, only I like it, it's just a pipe dream. But Anyway, let's go ahead and peek into the Borealis rankings so we can see where some of these fleets are. All right, so top left we have just some individual players, and quite frankly, if you look at a lot of these rankings, you see 30s guild zergs on top. Like we have a lot of urban, we have in the top 10, we have myth in the top 10. Yeah, we even have some in urban. They have some of the French players in there. You guys have let some of those French players sim to the top 10 accounts on the server. Good job for you, urban. Good packs in the 30s, doing well. And same for once you get to some of the guild specs. You got to get top guilds by level. 3 of the top 5, they're 30s guilds. Myth, Oops, and Urban. And then ranks 2 and 3, Boom and NF, they're both in the 20s. Then coming out of the top 10, you see the Teens guilds, Lois, Bex, some of the Zeros guilds, SS, BS, War Legend. Those other cluster factors. Going up to combat experience sorted by guilds. Looks like on top we have that's pirates now. We're going to talk about the pirates, the booty snatchers, a little bit more in a minute because they've definitely had a few visits over the past couple weeks. What's it? Myth visited them, I think. Boom visited them too, and they've been fighting War Legend the whole time. So no surprise there. They've got a lot of XP, and Bex too. They're up on the XP charts. I wonder how they earned all that experience. They got paid to visit too. We'll talk about that too. Top guilds ranked by fleet. Myth is the top fleet account, the top guild fleet. They got over 20 million. They're in the 30s. They got to sim from the start, and they'll let you sim. Let you sim up the big fleet. What are you gonna do? Fiance is overhearing the stream and asked, "His name is DoorDash." That was only on Babylon. That was the only time I used DoorDash as the name, but I think it was a good rhyming bit. Hey, Pinochle, how you doing? Yeah, simple ranks here. We're 5 weeks in. It's kind of I don't think it's really even changed from what they were 2 weeks ago. The guilds in the 30s, not much internal fighting. They've gotten to sim the most, so they get the biggest numbers so far. Good for them. Oh yeah, this is going to be the smallest footnote for a whole cluster opening, but the B40s opened this just yesterday. Yeah, so they opened up. Do we even know if a single person went to the 40s? There was some word on the street that 2 weeks ago, after Film had lost a crash with Boom, that they were going to kind of sit tight and maybe restart in the 40s, but it seems like that didn't happen. Has anyone heard of a single plan of any person or group trying to restart there? Because I know I sure haven't. Anybody? Didn't think so. Dark is in 40s now? Well, that's super newsworthy. I agree. They're big competitors on the server. It'll affect us. Okay, wow. Well, I suppose it's not that surprising. Yeah, I thought Film was going to relocate to the 40s. Seems like they didn't. So, what's going to happen with that cluster? Is there just going to end up being one 40s guild that's just a semi-training spy? Nothing guild? I don't know, probably. Until someone decides they're going to put a group there, it sounds like the 40s or whatever. Because no one's even, I don't think I've seen anybody in the Discord claim that they were moving there. Who knows? Yeah, UC Galaxy, yeah, probably. Not an exciting cluster. Well, let's talk about the other 4 clusters, which did do things. And as we talk about some of the action over the past couple weeks, we're going to look at some of these, the propaganda maps that both CIA and Pulsar have made. We'll get to both of them soon. This one here is CIA's mind map of the server. We have some pictures, we have some text, we have some really small text that you could not see if you're watching this on your phone, but we'll try to make the best of it as we can. Let's just talk about some of the action that's happened over the last 2 weeks on the server. Is anyone pushing for one of their ops over the last 2 weeks to be talked about? Because if not, I'm going to have to talk about War Legend first again. Why does War Legend get all the attention? Because they started and relocated, and if someone else doesn't speak up, it's going to be another War Legend show. Do we have to? Guys. I mean, I'm going to start talking about them until someone else doesn't. So we're just going to talk about what's happened in 08 and 09. We can talk about Lob bravely farming BR. I think I'd rather talk about War Legend Pulsar. I'm sorry, because they had a few, yeah, Legends of Butts, Zing, 3DS. Watch your language. Anyway, so over the last 2 weeks in the upper OO's cluster, specifically in 08 and 09, War Legend is based there, and so are the Pirates, the booty snatchers now. But they've had a few visitors over the past 2 weeks. I believe it was first Myth from the 30s took a trip down to the upper aughts to farm pirates. What was that, about like a week and a half or so ago? Anyway, but they go there, they farm a little bit, and then not too long after that, also I think it was last Friday on the 18th. Boom, who we also call China, that's their guild Boom. They also landed in the upper aughts to also farm pirates. So pirates kind of got beat up a little bit from two sides. Those groups visiting the upper zeros. So pirates got beat up a bit. They got a lot of experience. We saw them on the charts. But what kind of happened to War Legend in that situation? Because these two guilds came to visit. They beat up the pirates. But War Legend didn't get touched. And if you hang out in the Discord, you see some arguments about maybe what agreements or not were made between some of these groups. And there's probably a little bit of teeth to those rumors, because, maybe War Legend, they restarted in 08-09. They're 2 weeks behind, and Pirates were ahead of them, and they were happy to just contest Fighter in the Galaxies forever. I don't think it's that crazy for if... Oh, Sean, that's a big zing. Nobody type 1. Don't do it though. So I get it that War Legend. Maybe War Legend reached out to Myth. Maybe they reached out to Boom, saying, "Hey, what, you want to come down here and blow up pirates, and we won't shoot you for the few days that you're here?" Probably, and that's okay. I think if we do little temporary agreements for an op, I think that's great. We may never know the full extent of whether, War Legend and Myth, after this, maybe a temporary joint venture, or WLM Boom with a temporary, Boom fleet coming to their area and they don't blow it up. Maybe these are just temporary things, and we don't need to keep waving the Zerg flag that, Zerg, Zerg, Zerg. Anything that happens is either a Zerg or you're cheating. It's never just regular play. But, I kind of get it why they would make that agreement with WL to come down and not really hit them. The War Legends bases aren't very profitable at the time, or even really now at the moment. Pirates were hitting their bases. So, are you that excited to go ninja and fly down to a galaxy and hit a base that has 80 out of 100 and whatever economy left? You're not going to get full pillage. Might even still be unrest. Who knows? I kind of get it. I'm not angry or thrown to fit over War Legend making agreements for people to come down and help them out. I don't hate it. I doubt it's a permanent blood-packed MDP. What about E-Honor? None in this game. None about it. Those are some things that happened in 08-09. Pirates got visited twice, got a little bit of a beatdown, but that's why they're on number 1 on the XP charts. Some other trips. Where is it? Oh, yeah. I got confused because we're back to Myth again. So Myth had gone to the upper zeros 08-09, I don't know, a little over a week and a half ago or so. But then several days later, by Saturday the 19th, Myth went on another op. They went on another launch. They landed in, I believe it was 17, B17, and they kind of chased some Lowest Fleet. Lowest Fleet, their blob was in 17. I think they left. They ran. They went down to B13, where they kind of started chasing the guild Bex. Unsuccessfully, they didn't catch them. So Myth just hung out in B17, farmed a little bit of B18, and left. Yeah, smash and grab. They hit 17, they hit 18. Good for Myth. You got to farm for a couple days. While at the same time, I guess they were Lowest fleets were chased away. Lowest were hitting some Bex guild bases in the lower 10s. And I started to harp on the Pirates having a rough week getting visited by a few guilds, because Bex kind of had the same thing. While after Lowest was visiting them, Oh, Alex Crow. Oh, a fact adjustment news update. When Lois was already on the way to 13 when Myth launched to 17, we thought it was a fleeing move. So it wasn't cowardice. You weren't retreating. You were advancing towards other victories. This makes sense, Alex. Thank you. Uh, Back to Bex. They were in 13. They got farmed by Lois a little bit, but they got beat down a little bit more because on Saturday morning, No Friends, they went on a launch and they landed in B11 and crashed another chunk of Bex's fleet. Made roughly a 400,000 K pile. That's what Scott says. Scott says he's so good. He did all the planning and work on this op, and then he just kind of slept through it. So because he slept through it, he didn't. He said, "I guess it was like a 400,000 pile. I don't know how much we blew up." He's doing his best over there. He's pulling overtime. He's going to Mexico on a vacation, I guess. Good for you, Scott. Other guilds that did stuff. Let's see. Urban did some stuff too. Over a week ago, they landed in B11. Oh yeah, they also farmed Bex for a day while they were there. Alex Crow, no kidding. SS also, they went to V10 the same time as NF did in 11. Rough. That's unfortunate. Slasher Tab, you got to keep me on the up and up. You got to pass these secrets along. Or maybe Bex needs to complain louder. We need to get some Bex representation in the Discord so we know when people are getting beat up. Because I know that No Friends, like they were in, like, cause they went after Bex, but like, you know, they wanted to keep it hush hush because they didn't want someone trying to gank them. So they weren't flaunting it in the Discord. But if you're going to get hit, you got to complain about it so we know about it. Yeah. SS and NF pact confirmed. You might be right, Pulsar. I don't know if it's a pact. Maybe it's just a taco style agreement. We're in the agreement meta right now. No more pacts, just agreements. Let's go talk about Urban again. Let me get back to them. They landed to B11. They farmed Bex for a day. That was, I think, more than a week ago. And sometime on Saturday, they were launching somewhere. They launched, I don't know, it looked like Urban had sent about 5 million or so fleets somewhere, but it doesn't look like they're still going there, if you get what I'm talking about. It seems like Urban tried to go somewhere, and now they're not going somewhere. Who knows? I guess they're it seems like they might be recalling. I only have CIA's map up. I got to show you Pulsar's maps and charts that he makes. Pulsar made 3 different charts, and this first one that I titled Pulsar Crazy, because it's trying to show like 3 different things at once. There's a chart. There's a chart. He tried to chart guilds and like alliances by fleet here, but there's like a line for just total fleet and percentage of fleet members and percentage of fleet overall. It's too much. We're dropping it out. There's a nice simple chart with just regular alliance groups and their amounts, but I think by far the best chart is we have the simple chart with blue lines. But we can put this, where's the bubble chart? Here we go. Here is the significantly better chart, where it shows guilds fleet and alliances by colors and kind of bubbles showing the size. While the other charts were not great, I think the bubble chart is fantastic. So, yeah, we do have some alliances here. In top left, we'll start up there. We have in the aughts, the zeros, SS and WL. They are allied. And from the Pulsar Propaganda Department, some alleged shipping of War Legend and maybe Myth and maybe War Legend and Boom having some kind of agreements. I think we touched on that a bit while they visited and didn't hit War Legend, but I mean, I get it. I'm not ready to throw the book at them. I'm not going to be judge, jury, journalist, and executioner on this yet. I think it's okay that they visited and fought the other guild that they could hit. It was okay. Going down to the bottom left corner, we have teens stuff. In the B10s, there's Joy and Bex there together, and Lois and BS there together as well. And the little group GC. I don't think I've even clocked GC as a thing. Going down to the bottom right, we have all the B20s. They have a few different groups. They're I suppose the least friendly. But No Friends, they have their very sizable amount of fleet. I think they're close to 20 million. And Boom and Lob, they're pecked it up. They got a decent bit of fleet too. And for 20s propaganda purposes as well, because Lob beat them up a bit, we still have BR and Film on the charts. But I think unfortunately, I think Film and BR might be starting to drop out of relevance. Excuse me. Yeah, I was really hoping Film was gonna restart into the 40s. It give them a fresh start. I remember them being pretty sizable, but I can't make them do what I want, which would be a potentially more interesting group to talk about. And then of course B30s, they're in blue in the top right. Myth, Urban, Oops, they're all together. They're all together, but I do kind of want to talk about the 30s Big Alliance a bit. I got to talk with some of the Oops leadership team a bit yesterday, and got to, peel back the curtain a little bit on how that alliance really kind of came together more, and even a little bit of drama that we've had going on behind the scenes in the 30s. It's not all sunshine, perfect rainbows, perfect Zerg. I do want to say, I do think that in Oops, we have Meow in our guild. We do believe that Meow probably lost his first, some of the first dreadnoughts on the server. He's lost 2 already. So if anyone can beat that, Meow is definitely in the lead. But kind of talking about the 30s Zerg a little bit. Because I learned from the Oops gangs that it's more like Oops and Myth. They're a bit more of the related guilds, like because Myth was like, oh, we're gonna pre-server start, we're gonna make our guild, and C4 is like, oh, I want to be a training guild for you, is that cool? And they said sure. And then Oops started with 12 people, and other people play, everybody joined. Now we're 50 people too. Myth's in the upper 30s, Oops was in the middle 30s, and Urban's in the lower 30s. But I'll tell you about our 30s internal drama a bit. So Urban was mostly based in 31 and 32. That was his thing. That was their group. And nobody was really in B30. No one was claiming it. And since no one was claiming it, and they had kind of newer players applying to the guilds, Oops was like, hey, there's a handful of players in B30. We'll take them. We'll just get them in. We have the space. We have the group. We'll train them. Whatever. And that was weeks ago. It seemed fine. Fast forward to this week, and Urban says, this isn't cool anymore. I don't think it's great that you have B30. We want B30 to greet our United Colonies from us, because it makes sense that would be our territory since we're in 31 and 32. So I guess B30's UCs are going to Urban now. They want them. But we kind of had a bit of a heart attack in Oops when this happened, because I guess when C4 was announcing it to the guild, he was I don't know, in the car or driving or something, and not at home, and he didn't give us the message very clearly, because I'm not going to read exactly what he says, but I will paraphrase it because it was kind of insane. Because I'm going to retract how great his announcements were the prior episode and say this one made us all freak out a bit. Because he said the announcement was basically, now B30, that's actually going to be Urban's Galaxy. So you have one of 3 decisions to make. Option 1, this is the top option. Just ask to join if you're in B30. Just ask to join Urban. You'll be missed if you go, but you can try to get in. That's your top choice. Just ask to join Urban. Option number 2, relocate your bases to somewhere in 33, 34, or 35. It's still early. You'll bounce back. It'll be cool. And option 3, and I quote, this is probably the least favorable option. Just build new bases outside of B30 and keep your bases in B30. So I don't know how much you care to even listen to that, but obviously keeping your bases in B30 and building your other bases outside of B30 was the simplest, best choice. Why would you relocate if you don't have to? So the guild kind of had a heart attack for a couple hours because we thought we weren't allowed to live there anymore, but it was okay because once C4 got home in 2 hours, it was I'm trying to read what you say. CIA, yeah, it was. Yeah, those were kind of the options, but realistically, the orders could have been, hey, urban wants is it's closer to urban. They're going to take our UCs there. Don't build any new bases there in B30, which is fine because we've already built on all the craters and metallics there anyway. So I don't know why Urban decided this was the thing to do in week 5 of the server, but it was a thing, and it spooked us for a few days. Honestly, I did I messaged the GM of Urban, one of the Frenchies. I said, hey, you got a spot for me because it looks like this sounds kind of crazy. So I was a little panicked too. Anyway, that was just some silly B30 stuff. Oops should tell Urban to F-word off. They're just a friendly training guild. That wouldn't be very nice. Anyway, did we miss any other big scale ops to talk about this week? I think we covered a lot of the action. A lot of guilds went out of cluster, did a lot of things. What a hoot. I think we're going to be bringing on our guest Vig the Vigorator soon. But before we do that, I have to bring us... we'll get to the downer in a moment. But first, I'm just going to say, hey, guys, thanks for watching the show today. If it's your first time or maybe you contributed in some way, it means a lot to me that, we're coming together, watching the stream, watching the show, talking about it, trying to have a little bit of fun. This is the once a time of the show. Friendly reminder, if you have an Amazon Twitch Prime sub sitting around, you can do a little free subscription to the channel. It helps, it helps do things for the channel. I do need to buy a new green screen, so it's going straight to the new green screen fund. But before we bring on our first guest today, we have an extra special break screen for you today. It's a sad downer here. We had a big loss to the Jordache family compound this week. Our dog, Kirby, the Labradoodle, Kirby passed away this week. He had the doggy cancer. Obviously, big downer. This is still meant to be a celebration of his Kirby life. He was a very, very active 9.5-year-old boy. He loved chasing squirrels, even though he would occasionally run down the hill and head first into the tree, chasing the squirrels. He also enjoyed digging holes, going on hikes, and he definitely especially loved eating food out of the trash can. That was one of his favorite hobbies. He was named after the pink Kirby video game character, so he was living up to his name, that's for sure. And it may sound a little bit silly, but if you remember that old country show from 10 or 15 years ago, Duck Dynasty, he is a descendant of one of the poodles on that show. Maybe I forget if it was great-grandson or grandson of one of the poodles from that show. It's just a silly thing about it. But Kirby, you were a very good boy. We loved you so much. You will be sorely, sorely missed. You're a good boy. So anyway, it's a bit of a downer. This is a dog celebration of life. Take it back. So I'm going to send us to a quick break. You can get yourself a tissue if you need one. And I'm going to bring on our guest Vigorator, so don't go anywhere. You can keep looking at and honoring Mr. Kirby. We will be back in just a moment.
Alright, I forgot I had push to talk on. Hello. Sure. 1, 2, 3.
All right, folks, we are back with Mr. Vig, also known as Viggy or Vigorator. You have three names. I'm realizing now, but hey, Vig, say hello. Say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, love the enthusiasm. Um, Vig, you have been playing for Astro Parts for a long time. Why don't you give the usual introduction? Tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been playing, and then we'll start talking about AE bits and what you put together for our people.
Yeah, for sure. So I came over. My first full silver server was in Phoenix, um, but I was testing the game out during the later part of Epsilon. So that was what, mid 2008. I think that timeline worked out there.
Yeah, I think it sounds like
Right.
you started like a server before me. Did you start on Epsilon and then we're just like, I can't wait to start fresh on a server and play for real because it's so hard to make up for old mistakes.
Well, that and I was a part of a. I came over with a much larger group. I don't know if people remember WOG or MOG, Wrath of God crew, way back
Oh, you
boomer
played with
crew.
Wrath of God on Phoenix. Okay.
Yeah, I was part of that huge group that came over from another game. So
Oh,
a few of
okay.
us joined Epsilon earlier just to test out to see if this would be a good fit for the
Oh,
community.
and sure enough, it was.
Well, most of us came and then we had a lot of fun and been around pretty much ever since.
Yeah, you guys. Yeah, the Wrath of God group definitely had a large impact on the game for sure. So you were in Wrath of Guild on Phoenix. I always say Wrath of Guild instead of Wrath of God. I don't know why. But you were in WOG. So I guess. Oh, when did you create the tools for yourself for that group? And I guess let's talk about it. When did that come into play for you to create good old AE bits?
Uh, so it would have been shortly after, probably like maybe early 2009 was when I started making the first thing. Have a bit of a cheat history there because we made or I started making a Firefox extension to, modify the game itself instead of a site. Um, that had all the goodies with Battle Calc and had a production screen before Wizard added the production screen and auto launch and fleet highlighting, all that kind of good stuff. But what was it? Probably about 2010-ish is when I moved it over to an actual site, or maybe later 2009. I can't quite remember now.
Because I know I used a web-based battle calc at some point during Phoenix, so I don't know if there was some other web-based one at the time, but I'm assuming that was yours, even way back then.
There were a few web-based ones, I think,
Hmm.
but mine, I don't know, quickly became the go-to one, I guess, which was unexpected for me, but kind of fun.
Yeah, yeah. Because back then, like there were several different. I remember Firefox extensions from way back in the day. Did you ever get to work with any other tool developers? I remember back in the day there was the Caharculator. Some people loved that standalone tool. They'd say, "Oh, this was always the best one," but yours is a survivor, so yours is the best by default. Did you ever get to really work and connect with those other tool developers? Did they help or do you help them? I don't know. Let's talk about it.
No, we never really worked together. I think way back in the day, it was more about this is my tool and it's for my guild or my alliance, and we're going to have the advantage because of that before they became more broadly available. And by then, we had all kind of already established our guild, like our tool base, so we didn't really coordinate too much with each other. I have talked with Gahar, but just, kind of in passing and joking about some of the stuff we did.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Let's see. So, I guess I think I might have even cut you off introduction wise because I mean you started with Wrath of God and Phoenix, but I don't think you've really like led any other type of guilds, but you've played in some guilds. What are some of your I guess server history that I stepped on and didn't let you get through?
Oh, geez, I'm always bad about remembering server history. I've never led a guild. I just I'm just a peon, a grunt, and that's kind of what I like to do. But for the most part, I stuck around with the Wrath of God crew. We eventually became RD or Reservoir Dogs,
I was gonna ask
where
your
we were.
RD name. Yeah.
I was always Mr. Blue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, simple. You got top billing. You got a simple color.
Well, was it Mr. Black, the leader or whatever? He really liked all my tools, so I always got first
Yeah.
dibs.
Yeah, you weren't relegated to something like Mr. Lemon Chiffon.
No, not Mr. Lemon Chiffon.
No. Let's see. I guess when you were initially creating the website, or not even the website, maybe even like your initial Firefox extension, I'm a no coder whatsoever. I'm just a simpleton. I have no concept of what that could take. How long does it take you to decide, maybe it'd be helpful that if I built a Firefox extension for Astro Empires, I mean, how many man hours did it take you to work and get it done?
Uh, I don't know how many man hours. I wasn't keeping track, but for the whole thing overall, for the past like 18, 19 years that I've been doing it, I probably put a couple thousand hours into development onto this thing. Um, Firefox extension, that was probably only maybe one or 200 to get it up and out the door, but then that kind of fell off once my site got fully released. So,
Yeah, good, good. Yeah, because I don't code. I don't know if it takes 10 hours or 1,000 hours. I think you said over the years it's been like it's what like just 1,000 hours of it upkeep. Um, uh, Wait, no, no. I'll save this for when we're into the battle calculator. Um, Let me peek back into your notes to see what did we not talk about yet. Oh, I asked about some other maybe creators you worked with. You mentioned that there was another dev at the time who was making a paid battle calculator that threatened you a bit. Mind touching on that story
oh,
for a bit?
yeah. So I don't even remember the guy's name, but he was making a battle calculator and another tool that was going to be subscription based that players would pay for to get access to. And part of that was a Firefox extension. And he didn't like my Firefox extension, so he slapped me with a threat to sue me over making a good old Firefox extension. And then I just kind of laughed at him for that though, because in no way what I was doing was something he could sue over, and he just kind of disappeared. But I always found that kind of funny.
Yeah, Astro Empires. We cast a wide net on who we let play the game, don't we? Uh, well, we definitely have some characters. So I guess as the site has been around over the years, we're on V3 of the site. It started out with V1. When it was just the V1 site, was it only Battle Calculator? Like, I suppose, how long did it take before we got like the fleet launcher and like to post up tables and announcements? How long did it take for that to come up after?
So that was all part of V1.
Okay.
V1 was just like the core battle calculator, the distance calc, and I think the pillage calculator, and that was kind of the three main ones that I started with. And then as I added or refreshed the site into like better visuals or work better on mobile devices or whatever, I added more and more tools until we get to today where we've got dozens of them.
Yeah, because really going through the site, like I hadn't checked it out since we're on the V3 one now. I didn't really start digging into it until a week or two ago when I was like, oh, what? I'm going to bring this guy on. We're going to talk about something just good for the community, the whole AE bits. And I'm poking around the site, and there's so many different things on there, and especially hidden in the other tools and GM tools stuff. Because like I was like, oh, there's pillage calculator, level calculator, battle pace stuff, guides, and cost calculators. Like, do you really shouldn't even need to have some of this stuff in your guild internals anymore because it is all just on AE bits now. I didn't know you had built it up to be just such a one-stop shop guides for everything.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to have basically to be a one-stop shop because a lot of those like internal like build guides or the OS rush guides, people are always asking every server, well, where are they? Can you link to these? So I kind of did a little bit of digging to collect them and kind of put them just in one spot so people can just point to that and say, here it is.
Yeah, but we see Neck Plays. He says the prod rankings and tracking is pretty dope. Yeah, I know you have the full rankings history now. Like we used to have that was separate sites. Was it like Rocky Moon and Bob? I think before that, but now you have it all. When did you get to plug in and scrape all the rankings data?
So I started scraping my own rankings back when I did version 2 of the site, which was probably about early 2018-ish. Um,
Oh wow.
started doing that, and then I got a email from the guy who was running Bob, which he had all the data from the guy who ran Eddie, if you remember Eddie way back in the day, the ranking tool there.
Yeah.
And then he gave me a dump of all of the data that he had. So I imported all of that and kept collecting my own. So I was my goal was to have the most comprehensive collection of AE, the history basically, in one spot.
Yeah, you definitely do. Let's see. Pinocchio's got a question here. When you first built the tool for use for like your guilds only, how much do you think of an advantage it was for your group to have your specific tools? Like, I don't know. It sounds like a hard thing to figure out, but uh, could you tell that it was, I don't know, something very helpful that they couldn't get anywhere else?
Well, I know that once we added the tool, our launches got a lot better because of the auto launch feature. So people would actually, hit their timing. But I don't know how much of an advantage it really was because everybody kind of had their own tools back then.
There were a lot of different Firefox extensions back in the day. I didn't get my first ones till Gamma. And then I remember just thinking, I can take over the whole world with this thing. I think it was one of the Debbie or Desis, or no, it was Debbie before it was Desis. They having that one that did the auto scouting for you. Did you ever make an auto scouter type thing, like like those? Or
No,
no?
yeah, I thought about it, but I never bothered with auto scouting because I don't know, I didn't feel like setting up a whole infrastructure to keep that information for people to revisit.
Yeah, I can see how those are two very different things. Yeah, and yours is more focused on it's the site that people can use. Uh, you know what? I'm gonna pull up the website now, but while I'm pulling it up, let me give you a quick question here, because I'm gonna pull up the battle calculator first, and I know you told me the answer to this, but when by chance do you get to look at like the actual figures maybe getting plugged into the battle calculator, and have you ever seen something that looks otherwise like extremely futile or just some otherwise silly or curious series of calculations? Are you able to see that data?
So no, I don't collect this data in any way, shape, or form. Um, all of the calculator stuff runs within the browser, so it doesn't, or did run within the browser up until version 2 without me being able to see it. Everything still does except the battle calculator, which now hits API on my side, but I don't see any data that's being transferred to that. You just get the results faster that way.
Yeah, so you couldn't be potentially like stealing someone's plugging in launch tables. I wonder who's doing this. You're an honorable web dev. You're not spreading that around, I
Yeah, no,
suppose.
no, I can't see launch tables. I don't have any access to that information because I don't know. Another thing for me was to make sure that, my site could always be trusted. Because
Yeah,
if it can't be trusted, nobody's going to use it.
yeah, that would definitely be true. I'm trying to think if there's ever been a scandal like that in the past of something like that happening with maybe the DSys or the GF before that, but I can't recall. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of show off maybe a little bit of stuff on the site. because like the battle calculator used to be manual entry. Now we can save tech presets and parse in battle reports. I was gonna just grab a random battle report from our guild page and kind of show what it looks like. But what are some, I guess, talk about the battle calculator, how it's evolved over the years, and then I'll show people how we paste in a battle calculator or a battle report to scrape in the text.
Yeah, it's grown a lot over the years. Just basically, I mean, always trying to be as accurate as I can be with the calculations is number one. But then it came down to just adding a lot of quality of life features like saving tech presets and having those available so that you don't always have to remember or save in what the UC or Drekon's tech is or your own tech.
Yeah, I think I have. Yeah, because UCs and Drekons are plugged in here. I think that was my. I don't know, I forget what I tested it with, but yeah, you can. It's easy to plug in and save your text. You type it in. You just go down here. You type in your profile name and save it, and boom, you never have to type 24 tab 24 or whatever. Type in. You never have to type that in again. And when did you add in the parse battle report function?
I think that was a V2 thing that I added that in. So parsing is really annoying. It only parses in English, unfortunately, because doing multiple languages was a pain in the butt to get working. But yeah, because I mean, most people just want to copy text and paste it in. It's way easier than having to go through and manually figure out everybody's text based off of the values.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because parsing, you just take the battle report. When I'm posting or copying the battle report, rather, do you need to get the text up here that says battle report too? Is that like a kickoff thing? Or
yeah, that part is required. It's kind of a thing that I use to be like, oh, this is where the battle report starts, and then I can chunk it out properly.
Great to know. So, yeah, make sure you have the battle report in there. Copy paste all the way down to the bottom where it says the new debris in space. Does it do anything with this data, or would it only scrape the tech data above it?
Yeah, it only does the tech data. It doesn't do anything with the actual results or look at anything like that.
Cool. See, we're learning every day. I didn't know if that would do anything for like the debris stuff at the bottom, or if because I guess you could just send a scout to the enemy base, see the attack screen, copy paste it, and then put it in here.
Yeah, well, I want the calc to actually do the work, so I ignore everything else that it can parse.
Oh, cool, even better. Yeah, but yeah, as we just did, you click the parse battle report. I copy pasted the battle report, and boom, every tech that was in that report has been plugged in. This was just a random thing from the combat board. But yeah, that's kind of how it works. I remember Pulsar had also sent me a question before. He says that this is kind of like a niche thing, but he says that if you let me plug in some defenses here, that if you have defenses on the defender side and then you Pulsar, I hope you're still listening so I get this quite right, but if you like flip the sides, like you flip the attacker and defender and there's defense, Pulsar claims that will put the defenses on, that'll then flip the defenses on this side, and he says you should somehow find a way to make it not do that. That was his request.
Yeah, it does do that. That doesn't come up very often, and it is on my list of things to fix, but I just haven't gotten around to adjusting it yet.
Oh, well, there you see. Oh, he already promised you would fix it. Did you already know that, Pulsar? And he asked me to bring it to your attention again. So, chop, a little faster, please. For this.
He's just hitting me on every communication channel to get it done.
That does sound like Pulsar. But yeah, this is a battle pack. It's been used forever. If you've never played with it before, you plug in the text. If there's command centers, type that in. If there's a commander, type that in. And then you enter in your fleets, the amount of enemy fleet. You put in the amount of enemy defenses, and then you play around and find out how to make the most efficient hit you can. I think everyone hits a stage where you learn how to fighter drop something out and clear it out and then do another secondary hit. But yeah, it's playing with this enough so you just kind of learn what what kills what the most efficiently. And this is a game about being efficient, so the more time you spend in this battle calc learning how to efficiently kill targets, I'd highly recommend it. It's going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to make more money. You're going to have a stronger account. But yeah, that's the battle calculator. What are some of the other tools that you like? I know we have the distance calculator for setting launch tables. Yeah, if you're ever running an op, or for your guild, it's a small scale thing, or just trying to figure out how long it takes to get somewhere, that's all in here too. What are some of your favorite other tools or features on the site you might want to just show off that exists?
No, I don't think. Um, well, like, I mean, they're boring, but I do like having the guides there just because that's important, I think, for the community. Um, the Fleet Rally tool under the GM tools is probably one of my more favorite ones because it's really good to flame your teammates who aren't gathering
Oh,
when
for
they're
sure.
supposed to be
Oh yeah,
gathering.
I almost forgot. I have to ask you about like the ads on this site because I get an insane ads like splash screen when I'm going through it. When I go through, it'll. I hope it shows up. If it doesn't show up on the stream, I'm going to be so mad. But whenever I get the ad splash screen, it pops up for just 1 second. It kind of goes to whatever ad it forces to show up, and it says the take the "Are you gay" test. And oh, here it is. Am I gay test? There, it popped up there for a second. That is the ad that I get when every usually like 2 or 3 clicks it pops up and it says I need to take the Am I gay test on your site.
I
Do
have
you
no
care to
idea.
explain this? I feel like it's.
I use AdSense from Google, man. I don't know. It's based off of your search history.
I know I've never seen it before. It says I am the gay test, but also the problem is it goes away in 1 second. So how am I supposed to click on it to figure it out? There's only 1 second there. Yeah, I have no idea why that's popping up. It's only on your site, so I don't know. Maybe next episode we'll take the quiz. But that's the ad I get on your site. It's yeah, am I gay test? And then in like smaller text, it's like our test will tell you if you are gay or bisexual or so. I'm like, oh my god, this is. How's it pop up? What is my wife searching on this computer? Oh no, life is crumbling down. I'm putting it together now. Ugh. So back to other tools. Fleet Rallied. I haven't used this before. How does the Fleet Rallied, I guess, tool
Yeah,
work? I'll start plugging in.
yeah,
Oops,
so
there
I
it
mean, you
goes.
select your server, and then you select one or more guilds. It's usually just one guild,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can go in, um, and you copy the fleet list from like an Astro. So that just shows all the fleets that are landed or arriving at a specific location and paste them in under the fleet list box.
Oh yeah. So you go to
And
like
then
a
it,
jump gate and then just copy paste all the fleets that are there.
yeah, and then
Okay.
it'll show you based off of this information that I have in my rankings for total fleet, how much of each person's fleet is actually at the jump gate or wherever.
Oh, that's handy. Because I was wondering where the fleet list came from. I peeked at it, but I'm like, what does this do? Is it the guild page? I don't know. So okay, so that's handy. So you go to your jump gate page a day after you said everybody blob up, and then you copy paste all the fleet there, and then it'll just run the numbers and say this is everyone who did good or bad. Cool.
Yeah,
That's
and
fun.
thresholds you can adjust, but yeah. And then you can, of course, share it in your discords and flame your friends and tell them to get their asses to the jump gate.
Yeah. Yeah. I know you touched on the guides. I like that if you haven't looked at the guides page before, you have all the old guides too. You have like the starting guides for 1.5 servers still, and the base build guides for each of the different versions too. So that's all handy to see. Speaking of, I also noticed on the battle calculator, when you parse in a battle report, it will automatically detect which game type it is too. Because remember, I posted in a what's it, a version 5 battle report, and then I posted in a version 2 battle report, and it still kind of, I guess it recognizes that and indicates that on its own too.
Yeah, because the battle report has the name of the server in there, so I can just quickly look up which server that is and
Yeah, it's good that it does a
switch it.
check though. Yeah, because I wouldn't have thought to have maybe changed or clicked that if I was bouncing from version to version. So that's handy too. Let's see. Yeah, but yeah, there's a whole bunch of tools on here. Yeah, the pillage calculator, debris split calculator. This is why your guild, your GM will say, "Hey, after the crash, everyone post your battle reports, or you're not going to get paid." Because just like parsing it in for the battle calc, you take your battle reports, plug them in here, and it'll sort by the name and figure out the debris and stuff. I've always had like a manual sheet that I work from, but but I know that everyone else uses this. I just like making more work for myself.
Yeah, a lot of people use this. I think a lot of people also use manual stuff, or they have their own spreadsheets that they've come up with over the years that do things a little differently or a little bit better.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah. Cost calculator, fleet maintenance calculator. Gross. Um,
Yeah, well, I got to keep that there. It's handy if you're still playing a server that has fleet maintenance.
yeah. Sean says Vig needs a guide to show Jord where the prod button is. I can fully explain myself. I had to restart 2 weeks late. And I decided I was going to spec into battleships. So I decided just a full frontal assault on economy was where I needed to focus my energy. And so I could do 3 weeks to build up all the 16 shipyards and get all the right tech and get disruptor turrets. And they asked me to build a jump gate somewhere else, so I did all the right things to do all that in 3 weeks. So I will begin production soon. I would still rather not talk about my experience, though. That is definitely a personal boundary that I'm going to need to hold with you about experience, though. I will produce, but XP is off the table, hands down. I'm sorry, Vic. Please go ahead.
Another one that I don't think a lot of people know about is the battle paste tool.
Battle pace tool. Let's talk about it. And my gay test. And it's the only ad I get. It's the only one every
There,
time.
yeah. This is there used to be a battle paste site a while ago that
Yeah.
shut down. So this is like the same thing. You paste in your battle report, and then you can either toggle to hide the location or hide the technology values on it, and then it'll generate a unique URL that you can share out to people and show, your cool hits or whatever.
Yeah. And I guess do the battle reports, do those ones get to stay? I guess since they're getting a URL, does that data get to stay in the site? Just because I remember the old Battle Pace site, I mean, that one's gone, and I assume all that data is gone forever. Um,
So I don't actually save the battle reports. It's
mhm.
just all the information about it is just encoded in the URL. So as long as this page is up, you can just go to it and it'll display what it needs to display.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah. P. Knuckles says, yes, this is a safe space. It's a safe website. So those are, so I think those are some of the big features on the site. You said the battle pace is one of your favorites. Anything else you want to just peek in to show? I'll click on the rankings page while you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, rankings is also big. I mean, lots of people come here to obviously check on their cells, check on their enemies, check on their guild, look at stuff they did in the past, all that good stuff. Um, I like the server stat history, so you can kind of see over time the like population decline or whatever of servers. And I I don't know why you always get the gay test, but that's really funny.
Yeah, it's the only one I get. It is very funny. Yeah, rankings. Yeah, this I pulled up a server that has, I believe, less than 40 players left on it. But yeah, you can see all sorts of things. Yeah, this is cool. Yeah, it's all in one. Yeah, if you haven't really dug around the AE Bits tool just to learn what's on there aside from the battle calculator, it's just really handy to know what's even available to you. Yeah, you're going to spend most of your time in the battle calc because it's important to calc those things until you can eyeball calcs and not even need the calc anymore. But all the other tools like the rankings, battle play stuff, this is all stuff that is helpful to use on at least an occasional basis. This is all really great. So I would say, yeah, Vig, thanks so much for making this 15 years ago. It was, it's really nice. It's really helpful, and I think you've helped a lot of
Yeah,
people over the years and years. So yeah, thanks for putting it together. Do you? I think on your site I think you do accept donations. Is that hiding somewhere on the page just so I can shout it out for you?
yeah, I do have a support section in the footer at the very bottom of the site. If people want to donate, there's no
Yeah,
pressure to, of course, but I do appreciate every donation. It's very nice.
yeah, yeah. If you ever say, "Hey, I've dumped, I've spent 50 hours on this over the 10 years. Here's $5." That's we'll get a few of those for you, maybe. Let's see. So, yeah, we kind of touched on the site. You got to talk about some history. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about today, you or website wise, that I haven't asked you about?
Hmm. Uh, I don't. I kind of came on just to talk about the site, and I think we covered most things about it. It's pretty good thing. I've had lots of visitors over the years. It gets lots of traffic, which is always good to see.
Yeah, do you have that?
And
I guess maybe the usage history. Do you know like how many unique visitors that you've had over the years and years? Are you able to? I know. Do you have some of that all-time data to maybe share, or if not, that's fine.
uh, not so much all-time data because the way analytics works is that data gets scrubbed fairly frequently. But like just in the past 30 days, I've had about 25,000 unique visits,
Oh
which
wow.
could just be people from their computers or phones, like not 25,000 unique people, but unique devices that have visited.
Yeah, I'm sure two of those are mine. Yeah, that's a phone and a PC. That's for sure. Let's see. I've got a question from someone. Is there any plans for AI tools or any plans or future tools that you can share now? And any potential upgrades you're looking at making to the site, I suppose.
I hadn't done or haven't thought about anything to do with AI. Uh, primarily, I don't know. I don't know what I would do with it besides maybe better battle calculator stuff, but it's already pretty good, so not too sure. Um, I do, sorry, this I just saw the 2 million plus players. That does remind me of a fun fact. Because I have basically the entire AE history in rankings figured out, I was able to pull up how many unique player accounts there have been in every server over the past lifespan of the game, and it's about 300,000. So it's nowhere near the 2 million plus players that Wizard likes to boast about.
Well, that's a great piece of data to have. And because does that just is that just straight individual accounts, not no like if someone has the same name on Phoenix to Gamma, it's all the same. That's a different account.
Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
straight accounts. Those same names, those would be two different accounts. Like it's even the like, throwaway accounts that are there for like a day. It has them all.
Oh, I would. Well, now someone needs to go on the mission to find out what. I wonder what data is even being used to form that 2 million player number. Because I don't know, maybe there's players. Would accounts outside of the 1,000 rankings be captured, or would they not be captured in the rankings?
So Wizard gave me access to a special API that I pull on every server that gives me every single player. So I go
Okay.
way past the 1,000, the top 1,000.
Oh well. Oh, that. That's exciting. Okay, my avenue's been shut down. No excuses. That was my no excuses for Wizard here. Oh, that's fun. Let's see. Selden says, "Wait, does that include the numbers from V2 and when Cancer Crew had the account creation bot?" I don't know. Who knows? Also, Selden had another question. Who is the best Vig? I don't know if he's asking about how there's like Vig is
Oh,
short for Vigorator.
yeah. So there's also Viggy, who is a separate individual from myself,
Yes.
but we often get confused.
I was pretty sure you were separate people, but I did get confused like an hour or two ago when Viggy did write, "I will be on the ANN in a couple hours today." So I did panic. I checked her Discord DMs. I was like, "This is not who I was DMing before. Am I getting pranked?" So I was a little scared. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Viggy's definitely a different person. I had a moment of doubt, but I'm glad it wasn't. All right. Yeah, bring Viggy on. Maybe next time. Maybe when he makes. Yeah. What's Viggy gonna do of this equal weight as AE bits to get onto the show? We need to see what he can. What can he bring to the table? I'm the table. What is he bringing to the table?
Well, people have to start creating entire websites like this to get on this show. I don't think you're going to have a super long show.
Well, maybe some will step up to the challenge. We'll get some other junior web devs.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but yeah. So I think we touched on a lot of our points today. But yeah, just want to for the whole community. Thanks a lot for making the site. It's super helpful. I know you're doing it for the love of the game. So yeah, thanks for doing it. It's super helpful, and it really helps the game continue on to this day. So yeah, it's great you're doing it.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks everyone for using the sites. Thanks everybody who's ever donated. I do really appreciate that. It's always nice to get those notifications in my email. And thanks for having me on. Chat about stuff for a bit.
Yeah, well, yeah. Thanks so much for your time, Vig. I'll let you get back to your Sunday afternoon. And yeah, once again, thanks for making the site and thanks for coming on. Appreciate your time.
For sure. Thanks, George.
All right. Thanks, man. Catch you later. All right. Well, guys, I think that's going to end our show today. I was really trying to get it closer to 1 hour. This time we got way too close to an hour and a half last time. So we just brought on Vig today. But yeah, wanted to take a little bit of a different avenue today. Just kind of take a slightly more educational route today. And again, that is something I want to sort of look into for some future episodes. I do just want to... I'm getting distracted by my chat. When will Jordash cover this breaking news? Maybe add in the base guide to delete Energy 3 structures? I don't... Oh, Black Widow, I did forget about your plug. You made a rhyming bit about how I have a mustache and might be a decent person outside of the show. So that's slightly too inaccurate to report on the show. So I think I can't go do the full I can't do the full rhyme for that. It's just not true. I don't know if I'm ever going to get to sneak in the mustache back. I'm too client facing at work now, so I don't think I can have like a 1 week mustache and have that work well. I see your announcement on the Astro Discord, but it's only for 10 minutes. If I can get better advance warning, I would actually watch the whole thing. Take the Am I Gay test on stream for content, please. That's private. I wouldn't... If I want to share the results, I'll click the share button, but I can't take that test. I can't take that test on stream right now. Yeah, but yeah, I am shocked that I get that ad. It's only on that site, but it is consistently that. Google Trends really needs to know. Why do you know if there's a share button? Because every BuzzFeed quiz has a share your results button. You even had those back in MySpace days. You share your About Me quiz results. But anyway, guys, thanks so much for coming on the show today. I think we had a fun time. Next episode is not going to be for 3 weeks. We are 3 weeks out. I got a wedding to go to in 2 weeks, so I'll be too busy to properly set up the show. So we're going to be 3 weeks out for the next episode. We'll figure out some guests to come on. If you think you do something well and you want to be the person to come on the show and talk about that part of running a guild, I think that'll be fun. If you want to be the new version 5.0 server changes expert and come on and talk about that, I'd be happy to have you on. You just let me know. But anyways, thanks so much for coming on the show today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll upload this to YouTube later in the day in case you missed it. But otherwise, thanks again for watching, guys. Have a good one.